Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Johan Meijer from Fluid Tech Company. Welcome to day 2, track 2, where we have the real pleasure to have our next speaker, Sean Robbins. He's a maintenance and lubrication reliability engineer at the company Oil Simple. I like really the name of the company. And he will be getting us a little bit more familiar with this paper he will present. It's simple lubrication and maintenance incentive solutions to make you more valuable to the marketplace. The way we are going to work is that you have a chat box. For those who have questions, you can just launch and type your question. I will guide these questions, and after the presentation from Sean, we can then just answer your questions. So Sean, good luck. I'm sharing your screen now, and I'll speak to you in a good 25 minutes. Good luck.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here.
Sean, your connection is not very good.
It's not very good, is it?
It was good. It was good when we were speaking, but now it's...
Okay. What about now? Is that better? Or?
Maybe you should hide your video. Just let me...
I don't know if we can open, if we can have this. This is always great. Start. Is that coming through clear, or is it still staggering quite a bit there? I'm hoping that this is coming through. I don't know if anybody can actually.
Sean, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I don't know what happened
Hello.
there. Is the internet connection not very good?
So yeah, it's better now. The connection is better.
Okay. Oh, it's great when it works.
Hello, Sean.
Hello. Is this just coming?
You see me?
Yes, I can see you. I'm hoping this is working. I think I'm just going to have to go for it and see. I'm not sure what's going on. Can you hear me? Okay?
I can hear you now. It's better. So I will disappear again. You should share your presentation screen and try it again. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to it. Let's share the screen and let's get this on the go. Okay, perfect. Good morning, everyone. It was a pleasure to be introduced. Apologies about the issues with the connection. I'm not sure what's going on. If we have any issues with this, I will repost this up as a live link recorded so that people can review this. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And as we get started on our conversation that we're going to have for the next 25 minutes, I want to focus taking simpler steps back when it comes to having the workforce, having individuals, as it were, in our industries, experienced, educated, competent, and familiar and confident when it comes to lubrication, maintenance, commissioning, reliability, all these different aspects that we currently have to deal with in our industry. Lubrication and reliability go hand in hand with maintenance. And unfortunately, without the maintenance and lubrication side, we can have issues where if we have a lot of lubrication liability, we have less maintenance and vice versa. But in my experience, what I found, and I still find to this day, unfortunately, is we have this lull, and especially just now in this environment where we are after COVID, after all the industries have decided to cut resources, maybe the older generation of experienced personnel have decided to retire because it's not where they want to be anymore. We've lost this skills gap. So where I'm going to talk to you today is about how simple little steps can help you put yourself forward for not only getting a better paycheck, but also getting you a bit more experience without the need to spend thousands of pounds on courses, how you can get yourself introduced to the different aspects that are currently out there, how you can get yourself involved in the different industries, and how you can actually become a more valuable person to the marketplace. And isn't that a wonderful thing to have? As you can see here on the left-hand side of this first screen, this was a coupling I did last year. We had a lot of issues with it. It was a real headache. It really stretched my ability during commissioning stage. And this was a gear coupling for a hydroelectric turbine, and it's in place now and it's all working. But this was actually one of the very first couplings that they ever put in, and I wasn't told of this. So I got the information of commissioning this and that, and it ended up with a lot of headaches, only to be found later. In the middle, it's an iconic piece of information that's on the bridge, and it's really what I want to reiterate today is be someone. Don't just be the average Joe that's working in the tools and getting on day in, day out. Be someone, be proactive, be yourself, be willing to take accountability, be willing to take responsibility, and actually become part of yourself and integrated into a business. Don't worry about the company you're working for, worry about yourself. Focus on being a better person. So let's get right into the slides. I'm not a PowerPoint person by any means. I believe PowerPoint's death by PowerPoints. So I'm going to do a lot of talking. I'm going to get a lot of motivation in there because I'm very passionate about this. And let's get people motivated, and let's get them enjoyed and an incentive to make themselves more valuable in the marketplace. So let's get going, folks. So why me? Well, you may be asking yourself the same question as I did many years ago. Why me? Why would I be the person to change everything? Why would I be the person to do things differently? And the same for you. Why you? Why would it be you? Ask yourself the question, why me? Well, I've been in the industry for nearly 17 years. I've been working in from an apprenticeship right the way through to where I am now doing consultancy. I have two different businesses. I'm a director, but I still have to muck in and get my hands dirty. As this picture shows, this was me hanging off the side of a 100-ton valve, fitting some sensors and stuff like that. And this was only about 6 to 7 months ago, maybe a bit longer than that, actually, maybe about 9-10 months ago. But what it reiterates is you can't just put yourself in a box and say, I don't do that anymore. You need to be able to open to new education, new learning, new ideas when it comes to being involved in the workplace. And this was a fantastic opportunity. The whole experience for me was a fantastic opportunity. It was one of the best opportunities I've ever had in the last 17 years, but it really opened my eyes to seeing all the current issues that were out there. And from that, I was able to educate and inform people of the issues with lubrication, maintenance, reliability, how we could perform better. And as part of that, we've ended up doing quite a lot of work with the company and associated companies for that. So you want to be able to sort of get hands-on. You want to be able to think about not only the more expensive courses and where you're going, but you need to think about, where am I starting from? Where would be a good place to start from? And we're going to go into the next slide, and we're going to kind of explain what it is that I think would put you in a good place to be more valuable in the marketplace. To start with, this is some books that I've picked up during my years in the industry, and it really has helped me. Everybody thinks that if you're got lubrication reliability, that it's all to do with the oils and the greases. Yes, there is an element of that. Of course there is. But if the people that are doing that are not performing the maintenance properly beforehand, or the processes beforehand, such as the right connections, if you've got galvanic corrosion, say, if you're not fitting seals properly, you don't even understand what seals are. If you're not fitting the bearings properly with clearances and gaps, if you're not doing stuff like installing hydraulic components properly, the setup, you've got the heat generation there, you've got connections that aren't the right thread types that may be similar, and you're not getting them done properly, the cleanliness of the hoses inside, dimensional checks, you don't know all about this. Here are books that you can either purchase, you can get a lot of these free actually online by just speaking to the companies, and you can actually have them as part of your workshop documents or part of your office documents that you can refer to. I've read through these multiple times and I still have them. Some of them are pocket books and they're fantastic. So you have IPD Industrial Training books. They're based in Canada, but they're fantastic books. You get about 10 different books. You can purchase one or you can purchase all 10. They talk about all the different trades, everything else. Get a bookmark, get a little tab, stick it in, and you can have all the information, quick reference to go through. It's really fantastic. Talks about chain alignments, belt alignments, lubrication, rotary elements, vibration monitoring. It doesn't go into the huge depths that some of these larger courses do, but it gives you enough insight that it gives you a point to start from. The machinery handbook, the older the better, I say, and it's useful in your workplace because you can work out your key sizes, you can work out all your different dimensions and clearances and fits and all that. And it's a handy book to have. You think it's just for machine shops, but it really isn't. Out in the industrial setting, whether you're mobile or whether you're static, it's really useful to have a book like that where you can just quickly refer to. I've got one, I think it's edition 5, so it's very, very old, and it's a lot of useful information in it. SKF, they all have fantastic books. They have bearing maintenance books and industrial seal books where you can go through it. It tells you how to install bearings, what to look for, clearances, how to maintain bearings properly, how to install seals properly, how to identify seals properly, how to do dimensional checks. Fantastic if you don't know. An engineer's dictionary, and I believe Mike Holloway actually has one of these. He created one, but you can pick up an engineer's dictionary anyway, and it's a really useful tool to understand the different information that's in there. It's really, really useful. Matoya Metrology Handbook. Now, it depends whose company that you're working with for you're buying your tool from, but Matoya are really good. They have a book and wall charts that explain how to use dimensional tools properly. And it's really useful for just putting up in your workshop area so you can educate others. Maybe you're in the workshop doing something, as without even thinking. I just do it and that's it. The black books of fasteners and the engineers one, that again is just an information overload of different bolts, different sizes, working at gear regulations, everything you could think of that you can stick in your pouch and carry about with you. And it's an endless resource for quick reference information that you need to have when you're out in the industrial workplace. Fantastic one is Parker Thread Identification Handbook. Now, I picked Parker because that's the one I have. You get Gates, you get Aeroquip, all these, and it's a thread identification kit that you get for finding hydraulic fittings. You can quickly open it. It's got a vernier caliper and it's got the different tapers in it, so you can use for JIC and things like that. And you can actually use that to find proper threads and stuff like that. Drill charts, decimal wall charts, the more familiar you become with these, the more you can quickly refer to them in your everyday life. It is really simple. Hydraulics and Pneumatic Technicians and Engineers Guide by Andrew Pallett was a great book that I got a good number of years ago, and it is really good for learning about pneumatics and learning about hydraulics, all the components. Simple thing of just understanding what all the symbols are, getting the information for the keys. It puts you in a far better place than turning up to a site and go, oh, I don't know what that is. You may not know what every single component is because sometimes they change, but being able to understand that's a valve, that looks like a relief valve, that's a pilot links, it's dashed, that's a solid line, so that's a main line, you've got your drain lines, you've got your ports, all the rest is. You don't need to be an expert at this moment. It's about starting a journey and starting you to understand where you need to go, and just starting with the basics, taking little steps ahead and being able to develop that, because snowballing that into a year's time, you could be somewhere where you could be applying for a job or a position where you've got more responsibility, you're more focused on this just by doing it yourself. And it really doesn't cost a lot of money. And like I say, in some cases, it doesn't cost any money at all. And the last one, I don't even know, I think it's Ellipsis, the O-ring app. I actually got that on my phone about 2 weeks ago, and it's great for sizing O-rings. You just have this chart that you print out and you can put it on, you can size O-rings. Obviously, there's other systems that can help you with that as well. So, how you can become more valuable in the marketplace? Well, we want confidence in lubrication for sure, and it's not just in lubrication, it's in maintenance, it's in reliability. And this is our training and education system that we have, that we're developing, and it's called Educate Yourself, because realistically, there's no point me trying to push on you about educating you and sitting you in a course with a PowerPoint presentation and boring you for 20 minutes or 20 hours, whatever it is. We try and do it in a more pragmatic way, where we give you the information, we allow you to actually get a practical view on what it is that you're doing and educate yourself. It's not technically difficult, it's not technically complex, but when we start to put the pieces of the jigsaw together, like we'll show in the next slide, it helps you to understand the complete picture. If you take an aircraft engine and strip it down to the component parts, it's nuts and bolts. So that's what I always say to my apprentices and the people that I'm speaking to that are just starting out. Everything seems daunting, but when you break it down to component parts, it's really just nuts and bolts. Never be limited by your circumstances. That was a great phrase I heard a few years ago, and it's come true. My background, where I was born and raised, I was just in a small farm in a village, 2 hours away from the nearest big shop and stuff like that. And now looking at where I am and how I've developed myself through my own experience and my own self-worth and determination to make this work, it's amazing what's possible. So here we have on the left-hand side is the pieces of the puzzle. Fitting the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together, we need to have a clear goal. We need to have a way of making sure that we do this in a strategic way, where that once we've completed a certain aspect, that it joins the next link in the jigsaw, joins the next link till we have a puzzle piece, and that puzzle piece joins another puzzle piece until we complete the jigsaw. Currently, if we look at any sort of training or education that we have when it comes to lubrication specifically at the moment, you have to have courses that you have to spend thousands of pounds on. And it may be that you don't even know what you're wanting to do. It may even be that you don't even understand what it is. I feel that we've completely stepped over everybody. And really what we're looking to do is try and educate people on a very basic level, because that's what we want. We want people to become educated at a very basic level so that they can build their knowledge and experience and keep growing and keep going and keep going until they get to a point where they're confident and competent. So this is what this is on the left. So you must take responsibility, you must take accountability, and that's part of it. Once you do that, you can say to yourself, I made a mistake, it's a learning lesson, this is how I'm going to fix it. Not getting bogged down in it. We all fail, we all make mistakes. It's learning lessons to help you progress. So if we take this picture on the left here, this jigsaw, we have one of the puzzle pieces going out to the next one's confidence, the other one's competency. And within that, we have all these different smaller pieces, such as bearings, material selection, seals, component selection, installation, alignment, lubrication, familiarizing, training. That is really the sort of background information that you need in order to understand what's going on in your system. And this is just a random amount of different phrases that I've taken there. But if that was to install a bearing, this is kind of what you would need to know about how to install a bearing. And you need to understand that this is the level you need to go at. You don't need to know every last little piece of information. That's not the point that we're trying to get here. It's allowing you to say, right, I'm fitting a bearing. I know I need to think about alignment. I know I need to think about clearances. I know I need to think about what type of material it is. How do I identify the bearing? How do I identify what seals we need to use? All the rest of this. Where do I find that information? And this is what confidence and competency are about. It's not about knowing everything. It's not about having it all in your head and thinking, I know what this is. It's about saying, right, I've got a bearing, it's got a code of this on it. What is that refer to? How do I find that? Do I go and look in an SKF book? Do I go online? Where do I go to? Then you can become the expert. It's like troubleshooting. Troubleshooting only happens when everything fails, but if you can understand how to do troubleshooting, then you're more valuable in the marketplace than most people, because you can sit there and fault find and do what you need to do in order to make things get back up and running. So this is what we're kind of focusing on. Excuse me. And why are you the best solution? Well, if you look at the picture there, you can see that we've got some oil in the containers here, and they're actually got water and particles in. And the question is, do you want equipment to fail? Do you want to be left wondering, what does it mean? Why is there oil in my, why is there water and contamination in my system? What effect does this have? Do you understand what the various stages are with this? And can you explain where this has come from? I think like I said before, we always think that we need to be experts and we need to be like heavy on the technical information and everything else. But realistically, we just need to know the very basics. And we just need to ask ourselves very simple questions of, do we understand this? Do we understand this? If no, then we need to become more familiar with it. We need to become more educated in this. We don't need to sit down and do £1,000 course. We don't need to go down and do a £4,000 course, because I ain't going to teach you nothing if you don't understand the very, very basics. And a lot of these courses skip that because we already believe that you're already there, but we're not. I see people that can't even torque joints, don't know how to set torque settings on a torque wrench, don't know how to top up lubrication properly, don't understand why contamination is an issue, don't understand why hammering on a seal with a steel hammer is not a good idea. Same with bearings, why you don't preheat bearings, why they've got clearances, fits and everything else. It's a real issue, and it's only getting worse in my opinion, and I believe that we need to take a more simpler approach, and this is why we said that it's a more simple £1,000 course is expensive. It's about setting yourself differently from everybody else. If everybody did the same, it would put you in a better place in the marketplace compared to your competitor, compared to your colleague that you're working with, about sharing knowledge and everything else. So we really want to get you to be at, an expert level. And it's something that I've had many people ask me, and various colleagues have also had it asked as well. How do you become an expert? And by no means am I an expert. I'm still learning every day. And it's a case of, you don't become an expert. It's not like a job role you just fit into. You get it by having experiences and getting thrown in the deep end most of the time to find solutions. And the only difference between you and me becoming an expert is I've spent time being thrown in the deep end, being experienced with different issues, being involved in various different aspects of business and everything else, that if you don't take part in it, you don't want to do, or you don't know how to get into it, then you won't become the same. You'll just stay in the same place, seeing the same components, doing the same thing over and over again. If you're not exposed to anything new, how do you expect to know all the different fields, all the different outcomes, all the possibilities? And again, it's not about knowing everything. It's about what's the solution when that happens. Well, we know that if this bearing feels like this, like it's overheated, we need to look here, there, and there, and we go on like that. How do we introduce change which actually works? We're not targeting the right people at the moment. We're targeting people that are already in the industry, they're already in lubrication backgrounds, maybe they've got a job title like that, and we make certain people champions. Now, I don't believe that making an individual a champion is the best way to go. You need to make everybody a champion. You need to make everybody a seal champion, a bearing champion, alignment champion, a contamination champion. And it's about giving them the opportunity as an individual to get used to what these different aspects are. Not just saying, right, Sean, here you are, you're a champion. We've sent you on a course for 5 days. You're going to be the champion, and try and explain to the workforce how you're going to make this better and implement that. Never works. People just laugh people out the door. There's many different issues there between, personal reasons or behavior, or they don't like the person, or why would that person tell me they've been there, been here a lot longer? What do they know about this and everything else? If you give them an individual opportunity, then they can take that information, they can process it themselves, and they can make their own decision based on that, what they want to do with it. Because everybody takes a different approach in a situation. It doesn't matter if it's exactly the same. So we need to be focusing on a different group of people. We need to be focusing on the people that are on the tools, that are on the ground, doing the jobs day in, day out, because they're the ones that are not getting exposed to this. And this is the people that are doing this day and that are suffering because there's somebody else doing paperwork, documentation. When these people could get the same education and training and experience and exposure, and they could actually progress your business far more than one lubrication expert sat in an office. It's as simple as that. So it's a big issue in the industry between COVID, between, like I said, people being retired, people just fed up with the industry, people fed up with not being paid properly. It's a huge, huge problem. And I think as well, the dark arts of lubrication and reliability, people talk about it, they want it, but everybody's like, I don't want to spend the money, I don't want to do this. It's expensive, of course it is, but it's expensive if you get it wrong. And finding the right package, finding the right solution is the way forward to making sure that you have, individuals that are educated, that if, that individual leaves, you've got 5 other individuals that have been educated the same, that can take over your business and maintain it. Not that champions left and you're like high and dry going, this is great. Finding all the solutions for the products, finding all the solutions for the actual tech that's needed, everything that goes hand in hand with it to make it work. And that's what we've done. That's what I've done as a business at Oil Simple, is try and find all these solutions and make it turnkey so everybody can find a better way forward rather than just, that's it, goodbye, and this is why we keep on having issues and failing. So this is our Oil Simple hierarchy. This is something we created a long time ago, about 2 years ago. And you can see here we have this sort of tapered, upside down pyramid, if you wanted. And at the top, our main priority is training and competency and development. Because without that, without people that are training and competent in that, no matter what tech you put in, what sensors you put in, what program you put in, what system you put in, the people don't understand what it is they're doing on an individual level. How is it possible that we can actually make this achieve? How can we get contamination control? People don't understand what it is on a fundamental level. What is particles? What is, why is that going in there? Why are we having this, why do we need this specific piece of equipment? Why do we throw away funnels and use a proper dispensing device, quick connect couplers, all this sort of stuff to keep all this out? Why do we need to do this? If we don't understand that, we have no idea. Why do we need to label and have identification? So on the left-hand side, we have the competency that's actually chopped half off. It was competency, reliability, repeatability, having rational thinking, and the Oil Simple way. And it's really taking these individual aspects, breaking them down and saying, right, let's start with giving people the basic information. Let's say, right, this is what it is on a fundamental level. From here, if you want to go further, this is where we take it. We go individual pieces, join them up. There's one piece of the jigsaw. Join that with another piece. For you have a bigger jigsaw piece, and then that adds on. And what we're wanting to also do is join this on to the standards, the certification courses that we actually are available out there. To have this as not just a throwaway system, but have this as something, if they continue and continue and continue, this is like core elements, if you were, to have these certifications and courses that these individuals have, that you can, it's worth something. Because a lot of the time, training courses you do and you throw it away and you don't do anything about it for 3 years, and that's it. How do you become competent in anything you're doing? How do you refresh your mind? How do you keep involved in the industry, training, whatever it may be, if you're not doing it day in, day out? How you, 3 years down the line, you get asked to do something. Oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what I'm doing. It's just about keeping yourself right. And it's amazing, these simple things. And I've done it, so I wouldn't produce anything that I didn't think others could do, is saying it is really focusing on yourself, self-dependency. Don't rely on others. Don't rely on your company to get you a better paycheck. Don't rely on other people to get you in places. There's a lot of resources out there on LinkedIn and various other people that you can speak to that will help you, will assist you, help you find the right solutions, help you find the right products and courses and stuff that you need, and help you on your way. And they're more than happy to discuss any issues that you may have. But it's about you taking control of yourself and saying, this is about me, and this is about me becoming competent. This is about me setting the value of what I do. So not only am I, going to be worth more to the employer or whatever, that if I go somewhere else, I can understand more and be more open to opportunities that might be out there. It's as simple as that. It's not complicated. And, let's say I went from working on the farm when I was younger to, where I am now, and I never thought I would get here or be this, but it's amazing where these things work out and where you end up evolving to. So I think I've gone on long enough. I'm just going to check what time I'm on. Oh, I'm actually running over a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think we better round up. If you can round up, Sean.
Yes, I'm going to round up right now. This is what I'm going to sorry about this. I could talk for Scotland. I do apologise. So this is a group effort, well worth it for a bigger paycheck. It's about you. It's about focusing on making yourself a better person, being more confident and competent just by taking the responsibilities and accountability yourself. And I can assure you it will make you far happier than where you are just now. And it doesn't take any kind of money whatsoever. Maybe a few books cost a couple of pounds, something like that. But it'll make such a huge difference when everybody takes responsibility. We are here. I've got a website. I've got my email. You can more than happily reach out to me and I can help you get where you need to go. This is just a final piece. This was a picture that I took on site at a place. This was a gas compressor. We have a pipe here that's got a rusty pipe onto a hydraulic hose. That rusty pipe they're actually dipping into an IBC behind to fill up a gas compressor. So you can imagine the contamination. There's sand and everything in there. I've got more pictures of that I can show you at a later date. But that's the kind of stupidity that we're at, that people think this is acceptable. So I've done enough talking. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a fantastic day. And this is some of the places you could end up working if you get the opportunity to just open your mind and become more acceptable to taking responsibility and being able to, get out there in the real world. Big super tanker in Vietnam. Very hot, very nice. And it was great. Take care, folks. It's been lovely to speak to you. Thanks very much, and I'll be taking some questions if I've got some time. Emails there as well. Feel free to reach out, and thank you again for having this time to speak to you. Cheers.
Thank you, Sean. We are a little bit over time, but it was worthwhile listening to you, what you had to tell. I also appreciate it. You didn't use like 100 slides. It's always better to hear somebody talking. We don't have any questions. Reactions by saying that very well understood. Somebody like this message from Umut out of Turkey saying the first attempt in learning or the abbreviation of fail.
Absolutely.
I think we all.
Everybody thinks it's like it's what you're sort of ingrained in at school. If you fail, you've got the teacher hammering you. If you fail, you're a failure, and it's not a good thing. Failure is a fantastic thing because you can learn from it. And the main thing is when you fail, it's realizing you failed. It's realizing where you go from here, and it's picking yourself back up and getting back to it and realizing, it's not the end of the world. It's like falling off a horse. You get back on, you get on with it. So deal with the battle scars after.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, your commitment to participate in LRVS on behalf of Fluidtech and LRVS. Thank you very much, Sean. Good luck with your company and your program. It's very interesting. So thanks to all the people who have been listening and your reactions. Wish you further a nice day at LRVS and all the best. Thank you much, Sean.
Thanks very much. Take care. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
again.
Bye.
Bye.